When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in.
Welcome. Welcome, you who saw him around the neighborhood and you who only met Cary because of this crash. Welcome. You who walk and bike and stroll this path. Welcome. We are gathered here today to dedicate a ghost bike for Cary Coovert, a visible sign of an invisible reality that we are just fragile humans, and we're only here for a little while. We are here to let our hearts break. We are here gathered to ensure that those closest to Cary know that they do not grieve alone. And we are here to make a visible sign of a dawning awareness that we must peacefully coexist on all our shared roads and paths for all of us to stay alive. We are here to rededicate ourselves to a pathway forward to the work of peace in our lives, in our worlds, and on our roads. And most of all, we are here to remember Cary, to remember all who grieve his death, to rededicate ourselves to a day when there are 0 fatalities on all of our roads, a peaceable path here in Lexington on the road to revolution. We are all just people trying to make it home alive. So on behalf of the volunteer Ghost Bike Planning Committee and all who love Cary, welcome. Welcome you to this holy act, whoever you are and however you got here. You are welcome here, whatever you believe. You are welcome here, whatever you feel. You are welcome here if you bring your anger, or your sorrow, or your grief, or your resignation. You are welcome here with your rage or your despair, whoever you are and however you got here, whatever you are feeling today. You are welcome here, because we are on holy ground. We're in the place where Cary was last alive, last filling his lungs with air, this place made holy by Cary's life and by your presence. By being present here, you honor Cary. By being present here together, we proclaim with our bodies and our bicycles that Cary's death will not go unnoticed. So thank you. Thank you for being here, so that this is not a lonely place. So this is a place that is also a place where the people who loved Cary dearest gathered. This is a place where we are together. As Cary's beloved wife Robin says, Cary told it how it was. Cary told you how he felt. Cary told you what he needed. In doing this, he gave meaning and a definition to your relationship with him. Cary was one of the most authentic, upfront, honest, and faithful men I will ever know. Cary spoke the truth, and so will we. We will say this death is awful. We will say honestly that our hearts are breaking. And we will say in the same breath that Cary loved to be on his bicycle. We will say in that very same breath, that very breath in our lungs, the same wind that is behind you on the path and in your lungs right now, we will say that even as Cary died, so he lives. Cary biked this bikeway again and again, and beloved, we will too. So together, we will give shape to our grief in Cary's death, and we will name our joy of riding a bicycle. Together, we will listen to a reading and we'll open up space for anyone from Cary's community who would like to share a word. We will sing, we will gather our grief and direct our energy, and we will dedicate this ghost bike. We will do it all together. Because, beloved, we are exactly where we need to be. Thank you for being here. Galen Mook from Mass Bike will read for us the history of the ghost bikes.
Thank you for being here. This is very hard. Maybe we could all take a quick breath. This is a story of ghost bikes. I did not write this. Today we participate in a ritual that happens all over the world. The installation of a ghost bike to mark the spot of a bicycle crash. Ghost bikes began as a protest art in St. Louis, an attempt at a visible sign to a city that failed to see transit violence happening on its streets. In 2003, Patrick van der Turen, a cyclist, saw a car drift into a bike lane and hit a female cyclist from behind. Her injuries were minor, but the incident stuck with him. The crash was not far from his home, and while he remembered the incident every time he passed, other people passed by unaware. As he passed the scene of the crash again and again, he developed an idea. Patrick secured some old bikes, painted them white, and started combing police reports for locations of bike crashes and fatalities. The original art installation was called Broken Bikes, Broken Lives. A few years later, in Pittsburgh, a small group of cyclists picked up on the idea and coined the term ghost bike. A cyclist, Eric Borer, had been hit by a car and badly broke his leg. Eric says, "We called them ghost bikes because we thought people saw through us as cyclists, almost as if they looked at us as ghosts on the streets. We're almost invisible in a way." However, today, we place ghost bikes at the scene of fatal crashes to memorialize those who we have lost. These bikes serve as a celebration of a rider's life and as a lasting tribute to the passion of the cycling that they possessed. These bikes also serve as a reminder that life is fragile and that people riding bikes are vulnerable. We ask each other and drivers and other cyclists to slow down and take care. We ask cyclists to remain vigilant, and we ask everyone to protect each other. By installing a ghost bike here, where all who ride past can see, we make visible Cary's life and his death. Here we offer a visible reminder that cyclists need not be invisible. We are here to be seen.
Cary was a man of words and of deeds, of curiosity and adventure, of regular routes and new pathways. Cary was a creator, a father, a husband, a friend, a colleague, a son, a brother, and a companion. Cary was a climber and a veteran and a scout and a neighbor. Cary was a mentor, a partner, a parent, a cyclist. And Cary is so much more than any one thing. In the time that follows, we invite those of you who knew Cary personally to come forward. Tell a story of him.
Because he definitely had a quiet side to him, but he absolutely embraced life and people and friendships and his family. I think he'd be joyful that we're all here celebrating him and celebrating something that he was very passionate about, that he loved. It gives me comfort to know that he was doing something that he really, really loved in his final moments. I hope we can all carry that memory of him and that passion that he had for life and love and family and friends and the world around him. He was really just always so willing to embrace everything in life. And now he's embracing a new life, and we're joyful for that, in spite of the fact that we're all heartbroken. But thank you all for being part of that celebration.
Laura, and I'm Robin and Neva's and Carrie's neighbor. And my daughter Gabriella grew up with Neva, and I was lucky because Carrie often walked the girls to the bus stop. And I would see Cary marching along with the two little girls behind him saying, "Pick up the pace, girls, pick up the pace." So every time I think of Cary, I think of him marching along with these two cute little girls saying, "Pick up the pace."
I'm Jim, and in recent years, Cary and I had our best discussions about football. He loved the New England Patriots, but I'm a New York Giants fan.
Oh.
But this didn't open up much of a chasm, amazingly enough. It gave us more to talk about, because he wanted to know what I thought about what was going to happen next year. Were the Giants going to be in the cellar again, and whatever. And so that was about. I just remember recently I went through the Harvard Coop, and there was a book sitting there, and it said Belichick on it. So I said, "Whoa, that's what Cary needs for Christmas or whatever it is, Thanksgiving, whatever we had together." So I bought it for him, and I'm happy about that.
Hi, I'm Charlotte, and I have been Carrie's neighbor, and Marisol and Neva and Robin's neighbor for over 20 years. And I'm also the mother of a cyclist who was born the month the path opened in Arlington. And he says that cycling saved his life. And his memory of Cary and biking is being 12, preparing for his bike ride, his first century with Bobby Mack, if anyone remembers him, and Cary loaning him tools. And he didn't just loan him the tools and help him and fix it. He stood there and taught Chris how to fix his bike. And Chris, in turn, has gone on to teach others how to fix their bikes as they ride across the country or through Montana. So his spirit and his teaching lives on.
My name's Joe, and I live in Arlington. I didn't know Cary, but I was out on the bike path enjoying a beautiful, warm, sunny spring day on the same day that Cary was. And I'm just so thankful for what bicycling does for us. Brings us together out there. No metal around us, just our bodies, and we're there together, enjoying the day, each other's company, and this beautiful facility for biking that we have here in Arlington that makes us all feel safe. I came upon the accident very shortly after it first happened, and I just want to say that everyone there was doing everything they could, including myself. I wish I could have done more.
My name's Richard Fries. I'm currently on the board of Mass Bike, but I live in Lexington, and I'm so glad to see some of the cyclists that are here. And we didn't know Cary, but Joseph Stalin once said that a single death is a tragedy, a million deaths is a statistic. And the thing about this is that this bike path was really a gift from bicyclists to the whole community. And this bike path has become our main street. It's where we see our dog walkers and our children. We talk to each other. We get out. I'm always saying we always look at each other through panes of glass in America. It's either through your screen or your phone or your television, and you're never next to each other anymore. or you're through a windshield. I'm just really grateful to the Lexington PD and the town for letting us host this, and hopefully Cary's passing will remind us of the importance of just courtesy. That's how we all get home. That's how we all get home, and we should all get home. So that's all.
A path he rode in the snow, in the rain, when it was so cold that your eyes would water, when it was so gray you could barely imagine summer would ever come. On the days when the ice cracked and the wind blew not at your back but at your face.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of what it is to be a cyclist in New England. To ride cold, to ride hard, to ride with the promise of spring. So friends, thank you. Thank you for your words that provide a little bit of warmth, a little bit of hope, a little bit of love on a cold and gray day. This is what I believe. Our gathering matters. Our collective visibility matters. Showing up matters. Naming aloud what we grieve and what we long for helps us to bear our burdens and to share our joys. Our resiliency depends upon one another. Cary knew this. He showed up to his life. Cary adventured and he brought others along with him. He taught others, whether it was a neighbor teaching to repair his bike or putting his daughters on a bicycle and pushing them off. Cary adventured and he brought others with him. He did not move through this world alone, but connected. And so we gather today from many different places and many different traditions. And as we gather here, whatever faith you practice or beliefs you hold, we share a common language of love. So in the time that follows, we'll name aloud what we hold most dear. Some of us pray, some of us meditate, some of us hold these things with every turn of our wheel. So whatever your practice, and as you are most comfortable, add your voice, because your voice strengthens the voice of those around you. In the litany that follows after the end of each petition, I will say, we need each other, and your response is, we need each other. I invite your silence as we begin. Many roads brought us safely here, to this small square of earth. We stand and ride on holy ground. We gather in grief to remember a life well lived, a life too short, adventures unknown, possibilities unfulfilled, songs unsung. As we gather in our grief, may we know we need each other.
We need each other.
We give thanks for the life of Cary and all whom he loved. We celebrate Cary's spirit, his commitments, and his care. We honor the people and places that formed Cary, his birthplace in Alabama, his childhood shaped as an army brat in Germany, and Georgia, his Texas home. His move to Boston for school and his community in Arlington, and all of the pathways in between. As we give thanks for the life of Cary, we proclaim again, we need each other.
We need each other.
Comfort all who mourn this day, especially Cary's wife Robin, Cary's daughters Neva and Marisol, Cary's family and his friends. Comfort all those who cannot gather here today and assure them of our love. Comfort all who weep to no longer see their beloved Cary in the land of the living. When we are isolated in our grief, help us to feel again that we need each other.
We need each other.
We weep and we rage with all who were present at and following a crash. We remember all those who witnessed things no one should see, and the ambient trauma to neighbors and workers, first responders and police, healthcare providers, journalists, friends, and loved ones. May images fade from your eyes and noise ebb from your ears. We give thanks for the doctors and nurses and technicians and caregivers. We long for healing. We ask especially for healing for other cyclists injured in the crash. As our communities suffer on unsafe roads and paths, teach us again that we need each other.
We need each other.
We who continue to ride confess that some days we ride scared and some days we ride angry. Here on this holy ground, we claim and recommit ourselves to a day when all people will be safe on our streets and paths. We name aloud all who have died while riding their bicycles in Massachusetts over the past 12 months. Naming Jose Pacheco, 76, of Somerset. Stuart Finkelstein, 58, of New York and Nantucket. Michael Steenes, 57, of Gill. Josiah Rivera, 4, of Worcester. Meng Jin, 24, of Shanghai and Boston. Paula Shiraga, 69, of Cambridge. And Cary Coovert, 71, of Arlington. We grieve every ghost bike we have dedicated. Help us to believe again that we need each other.
We need each other.
We consider our cities and our towns, and we name our hope for this day for Bedford and Lexington and Arlington and Cambridge. We looked expectantly to our elected leaderships, and we vow to encourage their passion for this work, to prioritize vulnerable transit users in every neighborhood, on every road, every path, and every trail. We long for the day when death will be no more, mourning and crying, and pain will be no more. We do not want to do this again. As we mourn, we confirm that we need each other.
We need each other.
When we choose to take a bike instead of a car. When we choose to listen instead of shout. When we choose advocacy instead of complacency. When we choose to get curious instead of cranky. When we choose to heal the broken world instead of curse it. When we've traveled past this spot, remind us of Cary. When we try to go at life alone, remind us we need each other.
We need each other.
This we believe, and this we practice. To stay alive, we need each other.
We need each other.
Let the people say amen.
Amen.
Dear friends, we'll dedicate the ghost bike in this way. I'll invite you to gather around as we dedicate Cary's ghost bike. Get close with one another. We build a strong web like this. Come and touch the bicycle if you would like, or ask if you may place your hand on the shoulder of someone else who is touching a bike, because together we will be connected. Let us gather. We gather our thoughts, our grief, our prayers, our love. On this holy ground, we dedicate and we bless this ghost bike. May all who look upon it be reminded of the awesome responsibility of travel. May we move gentle through this world. May we move with kindness and love and care and compassion. May we move with joy and hope and life as Cary did. May this ghost bike be a sign and a promise May it be a sign of our fragile lives on these roads, and may it be the promise that Cary's life and his legacy will not be lost. Bless this memorial to Cary, and bless us too. Let the people say amen.
Hi, I'm Peggy Anderson. I live in Lexington, and I'm a member of the Friends of Lexington Bikeways. And on this sad occasion, I'd like to let you know that the Friends are thinking of establishing a memorial at the crash site that's a permanent memorial to Cary. And with the help of a mass bike, maybe we can do that before the summer happens. If you would like to contribute to the memorial, there's a helmet and someone's going to pass that around. And otherwise, you could donate to the Friends of Lexington Bikeways via our website, folb.net. And any contributions would be appreciated. Because I'm hoping that we could get a bench or a stone granite marker or something like that and have it on the bikeway so we'll never forget.
Sing so that we have a song. We will sing so that we know how to express what we do not know how to put into words, and we will sing loud and brave as if our lives depend on it. I will teach you, and you will sing boldly. It goes like this. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. The lower voices go like this. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Again. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe out. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. One more time. Breathe in, breathe out. As you depart from this place, may you taste again the sweetness of community, the delight in knowing Cary, and the liberation of your bicycle. And finally, as we remember Cary and rededicate ourselves to a year of 0 bike fatalities, may you hope diligently, love fiercely, live defiantly in a community where all can safely ride. Go in peace. Go in power. Go in love. Go and ride.
Amen.
Let the people say amen. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When
When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out